My beloved child. A moment is unfolding right now that was never meant to be casual, never meant to be ignored, and never meant to be delayed. What you are about to hear is not noise, not coincidence, and not imagination. It is precise. It is intentional. And it is happening closer than you think. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The reason this message found you today is because a chain reaction has already begun behind closed doors. A system you never touched is suddenly reacting to your name. Screens are refreshing. Numbers are reloading. Voices are lowering. A place built on rules, limits, and verification is struggling to explain what has appeared under your identity. And the shock is not excitement. The shock is fear. Inside a quiet office, a bank manager stares at a figure that should not exist. Not in any database. Not under any policy. Not under any regulation. The amount does not fit the system. It overwhelms it. 900 trillion. The number alone triggers internal alarms. The first reaction is denial. The second is suspicion. The third is escalation. This is where the title becomes real. Authorities are contacted not because of wrongdoing, but because the system has never seen a blessing arrive like this. The assumption is automatic: impossible scam. Impossible error. Impossible manipulation. And yet, every layer they peel back refuses to collapse. The identity matches. The timestamps align. The authorization does not break. Nothing is missing. Nothing is forged. Nothing is false. Don't skip. This is where most people lose the message. Because while they search for a criminal explanation, a spiritual one is already standing in the room. You were never meant to chase this. You were never meant to force it. You were never meant to beg for it. This moment was scheduled long before today, hidden behind delays that protected you until the exact second you could receive it without losing yourself. What looks like chaos in the system is actually order being restored. Archangel Michael steps forward not with noise, not with threat, but with authority that does not need to shout. This is not an error. This is not a trap. This is not a scam. This is an urgent blessing. Those words are not symbolic. They are functional. The reason the reaction is so intense is because this blessing bypassed expectation. It did not arrive slowly. It did not arrive in pieces. It arrived complete. And systems built to control flow cannot process completion without permission. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Think carefully about your recent life. The sudden pressure before peace. The unexplained delays. The moments where something told you to wait even when logic said push. Those were not setbacks. Those were buffers. You were being insulated from premature exposure. Because when this activates fully, attention follows. The police are not coming for you. They are coming for clarity. And clarity is exactly what will silence them. Every question they prepare runs into the same wall: authorization beyond hierarchy. A signature that does not belong to a person. A clearance that cannot be overridden. This is why the manager is shocked. Not by the money alone, but by the realization that the account is protected by something higher than protocol. Don't skip now. This blessing carries urgency because it is time-sensitive. Not because it will disappear, but because it unlocks a sequence. What happens next depends on recognition. On awareness. On you understanding that this is not about wealth, it is about alignment. Many would panic at this moment. Many would assume danger. Many would self-sabotage by disbelief. But you were prepared differently. You were trained through silence. Through patience. Through being underestimated. Through watching others receive what you quietly endured without complaint. That endurance is now the receipt. Archangel Michael does not intervene randomly. When he reveals, it is because a line has been crossed. A debt has matured. A cycle has closed. And what is released next does not ask for approval. Something huge is waiting for you, but only if you remain present. This is not the end of the message. This is the ignition. What follows next explains why tonight matters, why hesitation will feel uncomfortable, and why the people questioning this will soon step back in silence when the final confirmation arrives. Do not scroll. Do not doubt. Stay with this moment. A hush falls over the room as reality begins to sink in. The bank manager's hands are no longer steady. Not because of fear of loss, but because every safeguard he trusted has just confirmed the same thing. The number did not vanish. The number did not reduce. The number did not correct itself. It stayed. 900 trillion, locked, verified, and anchored to you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is the moment when doubt tries to creep in. This is where many people would look away, scroll past, or tell themselves this is too big to be real. But notice what is happening inside you right now. Your attention hasn't drifted. Your focus hasn't broken. That is not accidental. That is recognition. The calls continue behind the scenes. Internal departments. Compliance teams. Risk assessment units. Each one expecting to be the person who finds the mistake. Each one returning with the same conclusion: there is no mistake. The account is not new. It is not fabricated. It has history. A silent history that never surfaced until now. Don't skip this part. Because the shocking truth is not the amount. The shocking truth is why it appeared now. For years, you questioned why progress felt delayed. Why effort didn't immediately translate into reward. Why doors seemed to open slowly while others rushed ahead. What you didn't see was accumulation. While others received quickly and lost quickly, yours was being preserved. Every denial, every delay, every quiet moment was storing value in a place you were not meant to access prematurely. Now the system has no choice but to reveal it. Archangel Michael does not interrupt without cause. His presence signals enforcement, not warning. He stands where balance is restored, where false accusations collapse, and where truth overrides confusion. His message is simple, but it carries weight no institution can challenge. This is yours. And it is active. Those words shift everything. The police inquiry stalls. Not because someone intervenes, but because there is nothing to pursue. No victim. No manipulation. No breach. The narrative they prepared cannot survive the evidence. Files close themselves. Calls end mid-sentence. Attention quietly withdraws. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is not fantasy. This mirrors real life more than you realize. Think of how often people are questioned when success arrives suddenly. How quickly disbelief turns into suspicion. Yet when success arrives slowly, nobody asks questions. Your blessing arrived complete, and completeness always unsettles systems built on scarcity. Here is the revelation most will never tell you: the urgency is not about money moving. It is about timing aligning. Tonight is not symbolic. Tonight is a checkpoint. A recognition point. A moment where acknowledgement accelerates what has already begun. If you are still listening, it means you were meant to be. Because what follows next explains why this blessing carries protection, why interference fails before it starts, and why the final confirmation will come from a source no human authority can dispute. Do not skip ahead. Do not disconnect now. You are closer than you think. Something shifts the moment silence replaces questioning. Not the loud silence of confusion, but the heavy silence that arrives when people realize they are standing in front of something they cannot control. The bank manager is no longer speaking. He is listening. Watching. Waiting. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because now a new layer is opening. What few people understand is that systems are designed to resist sudden elevation. When someone rises too fast, alarms trigger. When abundance appears without struggle, suspicion follows. That is exactly why this moment looks the way it does. Not because something is wrong, but because something is complete. And completeness confuses a world trained on limitation. Behind the scenes, a final verification channel is accessed. This channel is rarely used, not because it is secret, but because it overrides argument. It does not negotiate. It confirms. Once activated, no reversal is possible. This is the point where doubt officially expires. The result comes back clean. No human interference. No artificial generation. No manipulation. The source is stamped with an authority that predates modern systems. That is why resistance dissolves. That is why conversations stop abruptly. That is why attention quietly shifts away from you and toward acceptance. Don't skip now. This is where Archangel Michael's role becomes unmistakable. He does not explain. He enforces alignment. His presence does not create drama, it ends it. Where accusations form, they collapse. Where fear rises, it loses language. His intervention is not loud, but it is final. This was stored. This was protected. This was released. Those words echo beyond the room. Because they explain everything you have lived through. Think about the moments when you felt overlooked. When effort went unnoticed. When recognition seemed delayed beyond reason. Those were not losses. Those were safeguards. Your reward was not shrinking, it was concentrating. Real life confirms this pattern all the time. Sudden success is questioned. Quiet endurance is ignored. But when endurance matures into undeniable proof, there is nothing left to challenge. Stay with this. Something huge is waiting for you. The urgency comes from what happens next. Not externally, but internally. Once a person realizes that they were never behind, never forgotten, never unlucky, everything recalibrates. Decisions change. Confidence stabilizes. Fear loses authority. And that is the true transfer. The number on the screen is only the signal. The real activation is identity catching up with destiny. This is why distractions feel louder right now. This is why doubt tries to interrupt. This is why scrolling feels tempting. The moment before confirmation is always the most fragile. Do not skip. Because what comes next explains why protection surrounds this blessing, why interference fails instantly, and why the final seal arrives when you least expect it but exactly when you are ready. Stay present. You are not watching this by accident. A final confirmation arrives without announcement. No sirens. No confrontation. No dramatic interruption. Just a quiet update that changes everything. The screen refreshes one last time, and the system locks the result in place. At that exact moment, the energy in the room shifts from investigation to realization. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is the stage most people never witness. Because when something is truly verified, there is nothing left to say. No argument survives. No authority pushes back. The same people who question now step away carefully, as if leaving a sacred space they were never meant to enter. What shocks them is not the number anymore. What shocks them is the protection. Attempts to flag the account quietly fail. Oversight tools return blank responses. Even curiosity is blocked. This is when they understand that this blessing is not just large, it is sealed. And sealed things are not touched. This is why Archangel Michael's presence matters now more than ever. He does not arrive to create miracles for attention. He arrives to enforce what was already written. When he declares something urgent, it is because delay is no longer allowed. What was hidden has reached its moment. What was preserved must now move. Don't skip now. Think about real life for a moment. Think about how often truth is doubted until it becomes undeniable. How many people are ignored until results speak louder than explanations. This moment mirrors that perfectly. You were not late. You were loading. And now the wait has arrived. The urgency is not about spending. It is about positioning. Once this activates fully, People will notice changes before you explain them. Opportunities will accelerate. Resistance will dissolve. Questions will fade. That is why awareness tonight matters. Recognition is the key that turns momentum on. Something huge is waiting for you because something huge is already moving. The final seal is not financial. It is spiritual authority overriding limitation. This is why fear feels unnecessary now. This is why doubt feels tired. This is why your attention has stayed until this point. Do not scroll away at the moment of completion. Because this message ends exactly where your next chapter begins. The moment after confirmation is always the quietest. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything has already been decided. The room no longer feels tense. It feels resolved. The kind of calm that only appears when a question has no remaining answers. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is where reality begins to rearrange itself. The bank manager does not argue anymore. He doesn't ask for additional proof. He doesn't look for loopholes. He simply accepts what stands in front of him. Because when something carries protection this deep, resistance becomes pointless. The system did not fail. It obeyed. What most people never realize is that true blessings do not arrive loudly. They arrive firmly. Quietly. With permanence. And permanence is what unsettles those who are used to temporary outcomes. Think about real life. The moments that truly changed you did not come with warnings. They arrived suddenly, fully formed, and irreversible. This is one of those moments. Don't skip now. Because here is the revelation few talk about. Once something is sealed like this, it begins affecting areas beyond what you can see. Conversations you are not present for start shifting. Decisions involving your name start favoring you without explanation. Doors that once required effort now open with ease. This is why the urgency matters. Archangel Michael's declaration was not about excitement. It was about timing. When he reveals, it means the waiting phase has expired. Delay is no longer protection. Delay would now be interference. This is active. This is guarded. This moves now. Those words are not poetic. They are operational. Notice how your attention has stayed with this message. Notice how distraction failed to pull you away. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. People who are not meant for this moment would have left already. Something huge is waiting for you because something huge is responding to your awareness. From this point forward, doubt loses leverage. Fear loses urgency. Hesitation feels out of place. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is supported. And supported things do not collapse. Do not scroll away at the edge of realization. Because what happens next is not about the system, the bank, or the number. It is about you stepping into a reality that no longer needs explanation. Stay present. This message is finishing its work. The real shift does not happen on a screen. It happens in perception. The moment you realize that nothing needs to be proven anymore, the pressure you carried quietly for years begins to dissolve. The system already recognized you. The questioning already ended. What remains now is alignment catching up with reality. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is where many people misunderstand abundance. They think the breakthrough is the event. But the truth is, the breakthrough is the calm that follows. The certainty. The knowing that no explanation is required because the evidence stands on its own. In real life, this is exactly how things change permanently. When a decision is reversible, anxiety stays. When a door can close again, fear remains. But when something is sealed, the nervous system relaxes. That is what is happening now. Behind the scenes, attention moves away from scrutiny and toward implementation. Not excitement. Not celebration. Execution. Because once something is verified at this level, the world treats it as fact. And facts do not ask permission. Don't skip now. This is why Archangel Michael's role does not end with revelation. He remains where order must be maintained. His presence ensures that nothing interferes, nothing drains, and nothing distorts what was released. Protection is not about danger, it is about continuity. This will not be interrupted. That is the message being enforced. Think about how often people lose momentum after good news. How doubt creeps in. How overthinking slows movement. That is why this moment emphasizes urgency. Not rushing, but flowing while the channel is open. Something huge is waiting for you because something huge is already aligning around you. You may notice subtle shifts first. Easier conversations. Unexpected cooperation. Fewer obstacles. These are not coincidences. These are indicators that resistance has stepped aside. Do not underestimate the power of this phase. Most people miss it because they scroll away too soon, mentally and emotionally. They wait for fireworks instead of stability. But stability is the true sign of arrival. Stay with this message. Because the next realization changes how you see your past, your delays, and your patience. It reveals that nothing was wasted. Nothing was late. Nothing was unfair. You were being prepared for permanence. Do not disconnect now. You are closer to completion than you realize. What happens next is subtle, but it is unmistakable. You begin to notice that the world is no longer pushing back the way it used to. Situations that once required explanation now accept you without question. Conversations that once felt heavy now move smoothly. It is not luck. It is recognition settling in. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This is the phase where reality starts responding differently. In real life, this is how confirmation shows itself. Not through announcements, but through cooperation. People stop resisting your presence. Systems stop delaying your progress. Timing stops working against you and begins working with you. That is the ripple effect of something being sealed at a level most never reach. Think about it carefully. When something is still uncertain, it attracts attention. When something is still questioned, it attracts interference. But when something is finalized, it attracts alignment. That is why the chaos faded so quickly. The police inquiry never escalated. The suspicion never turned aggressive. The fear never materialized. Everything that was expected to go wrong simply didn't. Because there was nothing to confront. The authority behind this blessing was already established. Don't skip now. Archangel Michael's involvement explains the quiet confidence of this moment. He does not need to warn when protection is absolute. He does not need to announce when enforcement is complete. His presence is felt through stability, not spectacle. This stands. This holds. This moves forward. Those words are not heard, but they are applied. Something huge is waiting for you because something huge is now irreversible. You may find yourself thinking differently without trying. Acting with clarity instead of hesitation. Making decisions without the old second-guessing. This is not arrogance. This is relief. The relief of knowing you are no longer chasing something that might disappear. Do not scroll away at this stage. Most people mistake this calm for nothing happening. But calm is the loudest signal that something has locked into place. Storms only form where instability exists. Stay present. Because what comes next is the understanding that this was never about surprise, it was about timing. And timing has now aligned with you. The final realization arrives gently, but it lands with weight. Not the weight of pressure, but the weight of certainty. The kind that settles into your chest and tells you this chapter is complete. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is where it becomes clear. Everything that needed to react has already reacted. The system has adjusted. The questions have dissolved. The attention has moved on, not because it failed, but because it succeeded. What was once impossible is now classified as resolved. And resolved things do not get revisited. This is how real-life breakthroughs actually end. Not with applause. Not with chaos. But with quiet acceptance. Think about the biggest moments you've witnessed in life. The ones that truly changed someone's direction. They didn't linger. They didn't announce themselves repeatedly. They happened, and then the world adapted around them. That is what is happening now. Archangel Michael's role reaches completion here. Not because he leaves, but because enforcement is no longer required. Order has been restored. Balance has been applied. What was delayed has been released, and what was questioned has been answered without debate. This stands. That is the final seal. If you are still here, still listening, still present, it means something important about you has been confirmed as well. Not everyone stays until certainty. Many leave during tension. Many scroll during silence. But you stayed through the calm. And that matters. Because the greatest revelation is this: the blessing was never chasing you. It was waiting for you to be ready to recognize it without fear. Tonight was not about receiving, it was about realizing. Don't skip even now. What changes after this is subtle but permanent. You move differently. You expect less resistance. You trust timing more. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand. That is the real wealth this moment activates. Something huge was waiting for you. And now, it no longer needs to wait. There is one last understanding that settles in after everything else goes quiet. It is the realization that nothing more needs to happen for this to be real. No extra sign. No additional proof. No dramatic follow-up. The shift already occurred. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, even now. This is how completion feels in real life. Not loud. Not chaotic. But undeniable. The system moved on because it had no reason to stay. The scrutiny ended because it found nothing to question. The attention faded because truth does not require supervision. What began as disbelief ended as confirmation, and confirmation always brings closure. Think about moments in your own life when you finally knew something was settled. When you stopped checking. When you stopped worrying. When you stopped rehearsing explanations in your head. That is the same calm you feel now. This is not coincidence. The title was never about shock alone. It was about contrast. Chaos versus certainty. Accusation versus authority. Human doubt versus divine alignment. What looked impossible at first revealed itself as inevitable. Don't skip now. Because the final revelation is not about money, systems, or institutions. It is about trust being restored inside you. Trust in timing. Trust in patience. Trust that what is meant for you does not arrive halfway. Archangel Michael's involvement leaves one lasting imprint: stability. Once something is enforced at that level, it does not fluctuate. It does not reverse. It does not need defending. It simply exists. This is complete. That is the closing signal. From this point forward, you no longer wait for permission. You no longer brace for loss. You no longer doubt whether things can change for good. You move knowing that what was delayed arrived intact. Something huge was waiting for you. And now, it stands with you. The story ends here, not because the impact fades, but because it no longer needs narration.